Before I go into that, there are a couple of things I want to share. Let me talk about myself first. Uh, I finished from OU in 2014, and I studied engineering. My parents live in this town too, and I went to serve in 2015. I went to Kaduna State, and of course, we finished service in 2016, and that was when I started my own work. Uh, I've never worked a job except when I was in IT, and the reason was because of the lifestyle I chose immediately after school. I decided the kind of life I wanted. When I finished school, everybody was telling me, this bank is out, go and take a form, go and take a form here, go and take a form there. But I just made up my mind that this is what I want. They were telling me, some people were even telling me that, how is your master's? And I'll tell them, I'm not doing any master's. And then they ask me that, so what are your plans and things like that. But for most people, they don't understand, you know, the way I want my life to be, the way I think. And of course, it was a big challenge communicating it to them. So it didn't bother me. It didn't bother me at all. A lot of people were in like the usual direction. And I noticed that people, especially in this community, in this town, they are so centered on a particular way of thinking, such that it's difficult for you to break out of it. And that's why I feel it's important for us to get a wide idea, a wide spectrum, a bigger picture of what life is all about beyond our locality, beyond what we see, beyond what we see around us. The world is a very big place, a very very big place, and you can be you can be um, you can be how would I put it now? You can be narrowed by your own perspective. For example, in 2017, I actually believed that 300,000 a month was like a big amount. Like if you're earning 300,000 a month, it's gonna be like just the best. Like you don't need anything anymore. Like you're gonna be very very comfortable on your own. But then I changed my environment, and where I was staying in Lagos then, it made me think about some things differently. The houses were priced differently. The restaurants were priced differently. And all of a sudden, the 300,000 was very small. So the more you move, the more you see that there's a lot more. There's a lot more. Um, I was talking to a friend recently about London, and I was telling the person, if I'm going to move to London, it's going to be costing me about $10,000 a month. Now that $10,000 a month is more than a lot of people's 1 year salary, and then they would think like, oh, this is like, what do you need that kind of money for? What do you need that kind of, it's an extravagant lifestyle and things like that. But the thing is, if your paradigm doesn't shift, if you still think the way a lot of people think around here, if you still think the way this is big, this is, and there's a lot more to do, a lot more to do. So I'm going to be talking about seven wisdom keys. I believe that you know, it's going to bless you a lot, and it's something that before I going to the first key, there's something I learned very recently that blessed me a lot. And it's something so simple, but it has a very profound effect on my mind. And it is this, you can write it down. Unbelief is not lack of faith. Unbelief is not lack of faith. Unbelief is not lack of faith. Through the years, I've always believed that unbelief is lack of faith. Like if you have faith, then the opposite is unbelief. It's just recently I was listening to podcast, and then the preacher mentioned it, and then I studied it, and I found out that it's true that unbelief is not lack of faith. Unbelief is an entity on its own, just like faith. It means you can have faith and at the same time you can have unbelief. Unbelief is something you can have just like you have faith. So the problem a lot of people have, and they say, "Oh, I have faith to do this, I have faith to do this. Why didn't it work?" So you can have faith to do it, and at the same time you can have unbelief. So unbelief is like an entity, and it can stop you from, for example, if you have a horse that's pulling a weight in a direction, and then you have another horse with the same power pulling it in the opposite direction, there's not going to be movement. So and I think that's very important to get. So seven wisdom keys. Number one, number one is, before I get there, let me say a couple of things before I start with number one. We must always understand that we are Christians and we are different from the world. Even though in some respects our rules may look alike with people who are not Christians, but we are different. And if you don't study how different you are, if you don't put your mind to it, to study it, to understand it, you will be like an ordinary person. And the problem of living the ordinary life is that you're going to miss a lot. You're going to miss a lot. You don't know how much that you could have done. You would think that what you have is everything that is, and that's why I have here number one. Planning for the next 10 years is speak in tongues more often than ever. That's number one. Wisdom key number one. Speak in tongues more often than ever. Speak in tongues more often than ever. I discovered that a lot of people, when they talk about success, a lot of people, what they lack is direction. Direction. People don't know where exactly to go. They don't know what path to take. They are confused. They don't know, should I go this way, should I go that way? Or they are looking for a path of least resistance. Maybe I should not do this, maybe this is too hard or something. So there is always the issue of direction, and I find out that that's the problem a lot of people have. And I find it, when I talk to a lot of people who just finished school, and then you ask them, what do you want to do, or what job do you want to do, or what field do you want to go into, and then they tell you anything, like, I want a job, like, what kind of job do you want? They will say anything, and it springs out from a sense of lack of direction. Like, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And the truth is, nobody can give you direction. Nobody can give you direction except God. everybody else can only tell you their own ideas. They can only give you their own advice. They can only share with you their own concepts. Nobody can really give you your own direction for life, which is why you need God in that aspect. And by saying you need God, a lot of people might say, okay, then do I need to fast and pray and sit down in my house and then think and then study the Bible to find direction for my life? All those things are good, but the one I find most useful is speaking in tongues. And the issue of speaking in tongues is it's something you can do continually, and it's something you should do continually. The direction may not come while you are speaking in tongues, but the speaking in tongues positions your heart, it positions your spirit in such a way that you will be receptive whenever that direction comes. When someone talks about it, you will just know that this is what I've been thinking about, this is what I've been thinking about, this is what I need. But if you have not prepared your heart, if you have not prepared your spirit towards it, when someone talks about it, when someone introduces it to you, or someone just mentions it, it won't ring the bell. It won't, and that's how a lot of people miss. They miss God's calling. They miss God's vision for their life because when um, when the thing they were praying for came, they didn't recognize it. It's like um, it's like when Jesus came in the scriptures and they were been praying for the Messiah to come. You know, there was 400 years before, 400 years there was no prophet, and Jesus came, and of course they didn't believe, and up till now, lots of Jews still don't believe. Why? Because they didn't prepare their hearts. When Jesus came, they were expecting the one they were expecting was different from how Jesus appeared to be. So they just got complacent of this one, it can't be the Messiah. And up to today, there are some of them still there, they are still waiting for the Messiah. Why? Because they didn't prepare their hearts for it. So when it came, they didn't recognize it. It's the same thing when Elijah was praying for rain and he sent his servants to go and look. And then the servant to come back, see anything, didn't see anything, didn't see anything. And then there was a time, the last time the servant came back, and the servant said, well, there is something that looks like the hand of a man. To the servant, it doesn't make any sense. The servant is just one tiny cloud, in the sky, and then maybe that's it, maybe that's not it, maybe we need to pray more. But by the time he told Elijah was like, that was it, that was what I'm waiting for. He just told the servant, pack your things, let's start running. You see, so you don't have that knowing unless you have prepared your heart and your spirit for it. And the way to prepare it is by speaking in tongues. You will just walk by a place and you will know that okay, this is what I'm supposed to do, this is where I'm supposed to enter, this is where I'm not supposed to enter. You cannot know that if you have not properly prepared the spirit. That's why it's important to speak in tongues so that you can have direction. And that's the first thing. Without direction, you are not going anywhere. Even if you make progress at the same time, in 5 6 years you will be back at where you started from, and you have to start all over again, maybe with something or someone. That's why direction is so important. Did we get that? Get that? Okay. um number two number two, have a clear mental picture of the life you want. Have clear mental picture of life you want. Have clear mental picture. This is very important. James said that anybody who is double-minded should not expect to receive anything from God. If you're not specific about what you want, if you're not clear about what you want, difficult. It's difficult to get it. It's difficult to get it. When we pray to God, um, when we pray to God, it's not like our prayer goes up and then it goes to God, and God sees our prayer coming, and then He sees the content, and then He tells an angel, "Oh, give that guy what he's asking for." That's a false picture. It, it doesn't happen that way. In the Old Testament, it might have happened that way, talking about the visions of Daniel and things like that. But in the New Testament, that's not how it works. That's not how it happens. What happens is that when we pray, we don't access God by prayer, because God already lives in us. In fact, we pray with His we pray with the Spirit. With the Spirit in us. The Spirit in us enables us to pray right. Okay, so it's not like we are praying to God. God does not need the information or the content of our prayer. What actually that is that is actually useful for something else, and that is because um, life is spiritual. Life is spiritual. For every physical thing you see, there's something spiritual about it. And there are those who don't like to believe that, because they want to believe that everything they can see is all that exists. But there's more to there's more to life than what you see. Life is spiritual. And in the spiritual world, there are laws. Just like there are laws in the physical world, there are laws in the natural world. Uh, there's the law of gravity, there's the law of lifts, there's the law of flotation, and lots of other principles. And in the spiritual world too, there are laws. Okay, so what it does for us is that it positions us to take advantage of the spiritual laws that exist to get what we want. If you ask God for something, it's not like God is going to give it to you. In fact, God has already given to you everything you need for life and godliness. He has already given everything to you. But the thing is, it's in spiritual places. If you don't grow your spirit to get there, you never see those things, and you'll be wondering, why is it that God didn't do it for me? It's not like God didn't want to do it for you. It's that those things, they are where they are, and there are spirits in charge of it. If you don't appear like the one that's supposed to be a recipient or the beneficiary of whatever blessing it is, if you don't appear like that to those angels, they won't grant you entrance, because their instruction has been from God that this God has described. Okay, this is the Christian. This is what a Christian looks like, and he is the beneficiary of this, and that's what is known in the spiritual. So when you appear, and when you appear, and you don't look like it, you don't they don't feel like, okay, this guy is the correct guy that's supposed to have it. Even though you may be claiming, you may be, you can shout as much as you want, you can pray as much as you want, it's not going to be yours, because it's based on there are rules in the realm of the spirit. And one of the things one of the rules in the realm of the spirit is specificity. If you want something, you have to be specific about it. For example, if someone says, "I want money," that's vague. How much do you want? And says, "I want a good life. I want to be comfortable." Those are big things. Those are big things. You need to have a clear picture, as clear as possible, as detailed as you can. Because we are talking about a 10-year goal now. Because for a 10-year goal, you need imagination. Because for 1 year plan, you can think 1 year, like in 1 year. But 10 years, you need imagination, because if you add 10 to your age, you know what that is. So you need imagination for that. You must be able to tell specifically. This is how I want my life to be. This is the city I want to be living in. This is how I want to be living with. This is what I want to be doing. This is what my day is going to look like. For example, I've always known the kind of life I want. For since when I was in, I think close to my final year in school. Initially, I wanted the life of someone who is an expatriate, an engineer. That was when I was in my first year and second year. But to my second year, I started getting pissed off about that. I didn't like it anymore, so I decided I wanted something better. That's when I started reading books. I started, listening to tapes. And by my fifth year, I may not have some specifics about what I want, but I knew exactly what I don't want. I knew exactly what direction I'm not going to take. There are some offers I would get, and I'll tell them straight away no, without even thinking about it, without even, I'll just tell them straight away no. Not because I have something better, but because I know that okay, this is not consistent with where I want to go. Okay, so you have to have a clear picture of where you want to go, and then it back to the wisdom key number one. It gets you it gets you conscious of the fact that when you speak in tongues, one of the things it does for you is that you see visions of the future. You see visions of yourself. I don't know if you do this, but I see it a lot. I see myself in the future. And it's happened to me, a lot of times. There are things that I've seen that have happened. There are things that I've seen that have not happened. You see, so those things, when you see those things, they become your driving force, and they become, the elements of your specificity. So when you see it, then you're specific about it. Okay, this is where I'm going. This is where I'm going. Before I moved to, I live in Abuja. Before I moved to Abuja, when I was in Lagos with my friends, I would always say it. I want to live in Abuja. I didn't have anybody because I served in Kaduna and I stayed in Abuja for a long while before I came back to the southwest. So I was always saying to my friends that I'm moving back to Abuja. I can't stay in Lagos. I won't stay in Lagos. And that continued, that continued, that continued. How I moved was very interesting. A friend of mine who was like a brother to me, he was serving in Abuja. So he called me one day and then we were discussing and he told me that he wants to get a house because he wants to get a house and settle down in the city because he's living with someone and the place is quite cramped up. So when he told me that he wanted to get a house in Abuja, it just rang true with me that okay, this is the opportunity I've been waiting for. I just told him, don't look for a BQ, look for a house and then we can do it together. We can get the house together, and that's how we got the house together, and that's how I moved. The thing is this: if you've not been anybody that has not been specific with what they want and specific with where they are going, when such information comes, oh, I'm looking for a place. Oh, okay, this will be fine, and then that's how the opportunity will just go. Okay, so have a clear mental picture of the kind of life you want. I've talked a bit about that too. Number three, it matters what you decide not to do. But it matters what you decide to do. It matters what you decide not to do. All of this are for you. All of this are for you. And sometimes it's painful when you know an opportunity is not for you, but it looks good. So you try it and it didn't work out. And then you are pained. And at the same time, you know that okay, this is not for me, but let me just try it and see whether it will work. And then it doesn't work, and it hurts you kind of. So it matters what you decide not to do. Sometimes you may not know exactly what you want, but you have an idea of okay, this is something I don't want. This is something I don't want. And the problem is if you start your way, if you start going in the direction of what you don't want, it will end up you end up going back to square one. Number four, wisdom key number four. I've talked about that too. The only reason you don't have what you want is because you are not specific about it. The only reason you don't have what you want is because you are not specific about it. The only reason you don't have what you want is because you are not specific about it. The only reason you don't have what you want is because you are not specific about it. The moment you become specific, everything opens up. The moment you become specific, in fact, sometimes it is instantaneous. The moment you become specific, for example, if you want a brand of car and you decide, okay, you want a car, and you just say, okay, I want a car, I want a car, I want a car. The moment you decide, okay, I want Toyota Avalon, eh, you will start seeing Toyota Avalon around you. You will start seeing people driving it. You will start, it becomes clearer to you. It becomes very clear to you. So that's what specificity does. That's what specificity does. Did you get that? Or should I repeat it? I should repeat it. Should I repeat it? Okay. The only reason you don't have what you want is because you are not specific about it. The only reason you don't have what you want is because you are not specific about it. Yeah. Oh. Number five. Number five. Great opportunities will always come. Great opportunities will always come again. 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 We've been told this thing as we're growing up now, opportunity that once lost can never be regained. That thing is a big lie. It's a very big lie. And it has made a lot of people desperate. You make desperate moves because you think that if I lose this opportunity, I'll never get it again. It's not true. It's not true. Opportunities always come again. And sometimes, the best ones are the ones that are disguised, that are not so obvious and they look like work. I had a friend, she she went to study in Germany, so after she was through, she wanted to get a job, and so she went for an interview, and the interview was in a place like it wasn't looking good, and it wasn't a very fine place, so to speak. So she was telling me that, oh, that this place is not fine, that she thinks that these guys are just, abeli kind of thing, even in Germany. So she was like, she's not excited about it and things like that. I just told her, I said, just wait and go through it and get into the job first before you complain. Now she got the job, she got the interview, she did well, she got the job, and then when she got the job, then she now went back. She went back to the office and went back to the place, and the place was really, really, really nice. As in, it was go beyond her expectation. And she was like, how come I didn't see all these things the last time when I came for the interview? For some interviewers, they like to portray the sign of that, okay, we are not we are not glamorous, and then it's when you get in that you see that they are actually very, very glamorous about the things they do. So sometimes opportunities are like that. Sometimes they are disguised as work, but great opportunities always come again. Let nobody tell you that, oh, you can't get an opportunity again, or because you have missed something there, you have missed it forever. It's not true. Wisdom key. Wisdom key number six. Wisdom key number six. God that we not in heaven. The reason why I put this here is because there's this understanding that people around here have. They pray to God and then they expect God to help them, and that's what religion is built around in this part of the world. That's what religion is built around, especially in places like this. That God is going to help you, God is going to support you, um, and the truth is, when you study the Bible, you find out that it's almost it's almost like the exact opposite. It's almost like that because the Bible talks about the helper, and that's the Holy Spirit, and He has come to reside inside you. So your helper is inside you. And the thing is, a lot of people just take that and they see it and then they are like, oh, okay, your helper is inside you. But the thing is, it has to become something that you're conscious about. That your helper is inside you. It means that whenever you need help, you don't need to look outside. What you need to do is to look inside. It's not just it's different from thinking. It's not like you are thinking, but it's like you are reflecting. You let like they say that let God arise. When people think about let God arise, they think of okay, God in heaven arising on your behalf and things like that. But all that legal aspect has already happened through Jesus. Okay, so when we talk about let God arise, what it means is let His word arise inside you. And that comes from a place of meditation. Let God's word arise inside you, and that comes from So when you are seeking help, you shouldn't be looking outside. You shouldn't be looking at what's going on around you. You shouldn't be looking at the sky. You know, People think heaven is up there, and then they look at the sky. It's not going to come from the sky. It's not going to come from around you. In fact, you will discover that the greatest breakthroughs sort of that you would have will be something that comes from within you, not from outside you, not from opportunities um, that are presented to you or somebody trying to do you good. There was something I experienced in the last few months, and I have a couple of things I do that generates income for me. So there was one in particular that I wasn't paying any attention. I wasn't paying much attention to. I was just doing it like jokingly, but you know, some things happened, and then the other sources I was really counting on, they weren't doing as fine. So I had to now concentrate on this one that I was playing with and just focus a bit more on it. And then I was just meditating, and the spirit said to me, take this thing like a daytime job. This thing that you're doing, that you're joking with it and you're playing with it, say take it like a daytime job. Handle it like you report to a boss. And then that just changed my paradigm about it, and I just made up my mind that okay, I'm gonna work on this thing like I report to a boss. I'm gonna work on this thing like it's my daytime job, and I focused on it. And it's like that started in like in 3 months. In 3 months, the income from that particular one source, it's like it's more than doubled what my best income used to be, just because I decided to focus on it. Like I've been playing with it. I've been playing with it for almost 2 years, but it was just tiny here, tiny there, and I was just playing with it. But I just decided that okay, let me focus on this thing. Let me focus on it like this is a job I do. This is something I report to someone. every day about, and I gave myself a daily quota. I'm going to be focusing on this thing every day, every day. I'm going to work on it every day. And it has the changes. So what I'm trying to say is that the change did not come from outside. Nothing really changed. The platform didn't change. The you know the nothing really changed from the outside. The only thing that really changed was that my perception to it, that I made up my mind that I'm going to handle this thing like it's a real daytime job. I'm going to handle this thing like I'm serious about it, and the results were profound. So when you talk about help, it's important not to look outside, look inside, look inside, and very important to look inward, because what is gonna change your status, what's gonna elevate you, what is gonna what is gonna make a difference is gonna first come from, of course things outside can line up, or things outside will line up, but first it must come from inside you. It must come from inside you. And oftentimes it starts with emotion. And then number seven, your mistakes, misdeeds, bad habits, etc. do not disqualify you from getting what you want. Your mistake, misdeeds, bad habits, and so on do not disqualify you from getting what you want. Your mistakes, misdeeds, bad habits, and so on, they don't disqualify you from getting what you want. Your misdeeds, your mistakes do not disqualify you from getting what you want. Your mistakes, your misdeeds do not disqualify you from getting what you want. Do you have that? Okay. Do I need to repeat it? Okay. So your mistakes, your mistakes, in most people think that if they are doing something and then they make a mistake, or they take a wrong action, they believe that automatically they have gotten, they are now caught out. So most of the time they just think, okay, let me just expect something different, or let me just focus on another thing because I've already messed this one up. So the point here is that what you think, don't think that um, your misaction messed what you are doing up. Because if you think like that, you are gonna take action based on it, and you are the one that can change yourself. The problem a lot of people have is not with, for example, it's not with God not forgiving them, it's because they didn't forgive themselves. They feel like, okay, I've done this one, this thing cannot come to me anymore. I've made a mess of it, this thing cannot, I've already missed my chance. And the truth is that there is there is um, there is no, you cannot, if you're going towards a destination, if you are heading towards a target, your misdeed or your misaction can make your path longer, but it doesn't disqualify you. It can only make your path longer, but it doesn't disqualify you. And yes, the reason for saying that is so that you will not disqualify yourself and think that I have lost it. That okay, this thing I'm supposed to go this direction before, I've already missed this way, so I don't think I can get there anymore. So the reason for saying that is so that you won't disqualify yourself and assume that have already lost this thing. So you have not lost it until you decide that you have lost it. Once you throw it away by your own hands and say, I don't want this thing anymore, that's when it's already lost. But prior to that, if you don't disqualify yourself, God does not disqualify you. If you can say society will disqualify you, at the end of the day, you realize that nobody really cares. That's what I've figured out. At the end of the day, when it comes to even the things you feel that a lot of people, they care about, they think about, at the end of the day, you find out that in the real sense of it, people don't really care. Life will go on, whatever happens. Life will go on. Rules get changed. It gets changed. And that's just the way life is. I hope we got all seven. So number one, what's number one? Let's okay, speak in tongues more often than ever. Number two, have a clear mental picture of the life you want. Number three, it matters what you decide not to do. Number four, the only reason you don't have what you want is because you're not specific about it. Number five, great opportunities will always come again. Number six, the God that will help you is not in heaven, the God is in you. You can add that in front of it. The God that will help you is not in heaven, that God is in you. That God lives in you. So that God lives in you. And you consult him. That God lives in you. And number seven, your mistakes, misdeeds, bad habits do not disqualify you from getting what you want. And before I go, I want to talk about something about business. Most important skill in business. The most important skill in business. The most important skill in business. That's people will say different things. They would say maybe how to manage money, leadership, how to manage people, uh, how to negotiate. There are lots of things. But the reason I picked this particular skill that I'm going to tell you, the reason I picked it is because it's useful for at any stage of business that you're in. Whether you are at the very top or you're doing business globally or you are just getting started, you are starting to trade of your own. It's very important and it's just as important as anything. And I found out that it's the most critical part of business. It's the most critical part of business. And that skill is very simple. It's communication, communication skills, communication skills. That's the most important skill in business, as far as I'm concerned at this stage. The most important skill in business is communication. And when I talk about communication, it's not just about talking. It's not just about relating people. Communication is everything about you. Everything about you. Um, there's a there's a very popular investor. He's not an investor. He started as a hip hop artist. I've forgotten his name now. I think it was PDD. PDD. He said he's not an investor. He's not going to. He's not. doing songs anymore. He said something. He said, "If you are coming to me to ask for money, you better look like money. If you are coming to me to ask for money, you better look like money." And I found out that when I first heard that, it didn't really appeal to me. I was like, "Oh, what if the person has substance? What if the idea is so strong?" And the person is. And then I figured out, as the higher you go, you figure out that there are some things that God looks at the heart, but man does not. Man does not look at the heart. What man looks at is what he can see, is how you look, how you speak, what you say, basic communication, basic communication. That's what people look at, and that's what their focus is always on. And I discovered that it's something that people don't pay much attention to. It's something people don't pay much attention to because they feel like this is something that is not so important. I can do anything anyway, and I can, there's a there's a man I got to know about in around where I stay. The man, he sells insurance. That's what he does. And the man dresses well every time. He's always in a three-piece suit. Three-piece coat, the waistcoat, and then the shirt, the tie, the pocket wear, the everything. You know what I mean? Just like three-piece suit everywhere he goes. And the thing is, sometimes you know you can look at such person and thinking, oh, why is he dressing such glamorously and things like that. But the thing is, because he's the boss of my friend, and my friend was telling me that there are times they will enter an office. The guy who is in the office will look at his boss from head to toe, like spend some seconds looking at him from head to toe before deciding, okay, what do you want to do? And he said most of the time, because the man has a pair of very expensive shoes, he said they will start talking from the shoes. It's the shoes that they will start discussing about before they start discussing business. And then, those things look like they are not serious things. But in the actual sense, they are serious things because communication is what you use to bridge the gap between you and the other person. It's whatever gets you talking first. Most people wouldn't like to talk about business first. You want to talk about something else. So you ought to understand how to bridge that gap, in business, such that you don't talk about business. You don't have to talk about business first. You can take another perspective. You can take that in, and you know, another, another application of communication is if you have a business, for example, and you have a certain amount of customers, and you want to increase the number of, you want more customers, you want more people in your business. There are several ways to go about it, but what I usually tell people is that pay attention to the customers you have already first. The customers you have already first, pay attention to them. Because if you serve them well, they are the ones that are going to tell others about you. If you serve them well, they're the ones that are going to tell others about you. Treat them like they are the best people in the world. They may not be, the interest you're getting from them may be very tiny, but that shouldn't be valued for treating them like they're the best. And that's what it creates a good reputation for you, and then it creates something that you can build on upon later. So communication matters, and I want to just before I leave, is a couple of things about communication. Um, First one I have is speaking up. Speaking up. Just communication skills. Then a list under it. A list under it. Like 7 things under communication skills. So we have speaking up, of course, unless you're using the mic, you need to speak up. Speaking up, smiling big, smiling big, walking faster, walking faster, walking, walk, yeah, walking faster, walking faster, walking faster, being a front seater. Whenever you're going for a business meeting and maybe if it's a conference table, sit at the end of the table. Don't sit in the middle. Don't sit in the second chair, the first chair. Not the chair of the chairman, of course. If they are not, they can send you. But the first chair after, sit in the front seat. Be a front seater. Be a front seater. Then make eye contact. Make eye contact. Make eye contact. Dress important. Dress important. I heard the story of a lady that wanted to get into a particular club, and then they went to meet the owner of the club. We went to meet the owner of the club, and then the owner of the club was dressed in t-shirts and and just casual. But the person I was coming to see was dressed in a three-piece suit, complete and everything. So even the owner of the club was intimidated by the participants. So dress important, and then the last one, firm handshake. Firm handshake. When you shake hands, grip it, make it firm. You grip the handshake. Firm handshake. Firm handshake. Did you get that? Okay, can you read all seven? Speaking of smiling big, walking faster, being a front seater, making eye contact, dress important, strong and shape. Thank you very much.